to another episode of Over the Glass. We are here and we have our very first guest that we'd like to bring on to the show. We're so excited that she's here to join us today. This is Elena. She's speaking to us from her attic in Spain. Is that your childhood home?
This is my parents' home. I didn't grow up here. We used to live in the city, but my parents moved here when I was 16 years old, I think. Yeah, so I lived here for five years, I think, only. But it's my home. It's where I feel home. My name is Elena. I come from Spain, where I live in Germany now. I've been living in Germany for 20 years. My pronouns are she, her. And I draw at times, but I am actually a translator. Actually, my profession, my serious profession is a translator. And no, I've been following hockey for a couple of years now. First, and then I found the Sharks and I stayed with them. But I don't know if you want me to go into it now or later or how.
So, how did you get into the Sharks?
Oh, I was thinking about it today because I knew you were going to ask that. And I was thinking about trying to remember. And I realized the first time I was aware of a team called Sharks was because of that picture of Barnes and Thornton naked with sticks somewhere. I don't know why it popped up in my... I was looking for hockey players and then it popped up to me and I sent that to a friend of mine who's gay and I said, here, you have a reason to rejoice this Sunday. And that's why that's the first time I thought, oh, look, there's something.
You're like, hockey, yes,
Hockey.
Okay.
Why not?
That's hilarious.
Show me more hockey.
This is how you grow the game.
Yeah, they got a follower. Look. And then
go ahead.
And then I started following the Sharks on Instagram, but only like you add things to Instagram. And one day I saw that was in the pandemic already. They were showing the locker room with the masks of the players, and there was this rainbow mask in the middle of them all. And it was like, oh, look at that. And it was Curtis Gabriel. And then I started following it more in deep.
Folks in my circle, I didn't have enough folks who really liked hockey, and me constantly posting about it on Facebook, I didn't really feel that... I felt like I was bombarding people in a way with all my hockey posts. So I hopped onto Twitter. I felt that it was a good outlet to kind of find all this hockey stuff, to share it, and then maybe folks who have a similar interest will follow me too. And for me, I just started out with, this was just going to be my spot where I could talk about all things hockey. And then I started, meeting you, and then I met Nessa through when we started doing the Hockey Pride project. But then when I started seeing things like Brock McGillis and then Curtis Gabriel starting to pop out to my my feed, that's when I started getting really engaged in the queer aspect of hockey. So I just think it's kind of nice that we kind of have these intersecting stories that kind of, we found ourselves in this space now.
It's funny because we all kind of found each other because of Curtis Gabriel. Because I followed him on Instagram and he posted about the Hockey Pride. And yeah.
I arrived there in somehow all the way because I started following Curtis Gabriel, and he had this podcast episode with Braden. I don't know if you... It's a Canadian ex-hockey player, professional hockey player. And I started to listen to his podcast because we have some things in our past that are similar. I felt very close to Brady. And then he had Brock on his podcast. And that's how I started following Brock. And then I landed on Twitter. I didn't have a Twitter account until that moment. But I thought I would really like to know, because I realized I was missing so much. Because Brock, where he's most active is on Twitter, and I really wanted to follow queer people in hockey. I was also missing a community, not only in hockey, but also in real life. A queer community is something I never had, because I come from a really small town in Spain. And that's how I landed there. It's kind of Curtis Gabriel, Brady Leibold, and Brock McGillis, and it's fun because you couldn't find a connection between those three.
What do you love about hockey? Why do you follow it now?
It's just the most...
Minus the half-naked dudes that brought you into it.
That's so important.
They were like, they were like 90% naked.
98.
98% naked.
Check the pictures. No, it was... I know, hockey is hands down the most electrifying sport I have ever watched. I've always liked football, soccer, and basketball than the classical European sports, because hockey is... In Spain you can't find hockey anywhere. Now maybe Barcelona, Madrid, but you couldn't find hockey anywhere. There was no hockey when I was a child. There was no ice rinks. You couldn't ice skate. Full stop. And I don't know, it's just I always prefer basketball to football because it's so fast. And then I watched hockey and it was like, this is a whole new universe, and they fight with each other. Are they crazy? And it's just so fast. There's no moment of no boring moment. It's really
So how was your experience? Because we know that you went to your first live hockey game a couple of months back for your local team.
Was so fun. I had such a blast. And it's only the third league. It's the third German league. I can't imagine how it must be when you watch an NHL team and hoping to do in a couple of months.
I thought you already bought tickets.
I have the tickets, but
You're going.
I couldn't. But I have learned not to trust anything these last 2 years, because I got so many tickets for things that got cancelled and delayed and.
Okay, we are going to switch gears. Okay, we're going to switch gears, and we want to ask you about your art. How did you get started in art in general, or drawing?
I've always drawn since I was a child. Here you can find tons of things around. I was always doodling. Every school book you can find of mine here, every paper, there was always doodles. And then I've always loved it. But I'm not a very patient person. If I try to do something, then
I don't know. Your drawings speak otherwise. That's patience.
Yeah. It was never that way. I got frustrated really fast. If I didn't get something like I wanted it in an hour, it was like, okay, scratch the thing. No, I've never been very consistent. And that's where I started to do lately. Just sit down and enjoy the process for itself, not thinking about how it's gonna look at the end. Just enjoy doing the little details, and it's like a therapy for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just to get into it and then listen to music or to podcast on have something in the background, and just I can spend hours.
No, I can relate to that. Growing up, anytime I was, teenagers are so angsty. Anytime I was going through it, I remember sitting down, just drawing, and it was like my form of therapy. It was just it's just being able to focus on something other than your problems in the world.
Yeah.
It's very good. So, what is it about traditional pencil and paper that you prefer to anything, like any other medium?
To have that in your hand, and if you push it so far, it makes this. If you do it like this, make that. If you how do you say that?
Sharpen?
If you sharpen it, it's gonna look this way. It's so tactile. Something you have in your hand. I can get used to digital art, for instance, because I need even to put my fingers on it. So I need to do something with my hands. I'm always doing something with my hands. It's very weird to do something. That's why I'm the whole time with my hands around. And
have you? Sorry.
No, I just wanted to say I love watercolors. I love color pencils, other things. But I don't have the technique. It's just so easy like that. I never get to where I want, and it's really frustrating. That's why I prefer to use pencils.
Have you ever tried using anything like charcoal?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love
that's probably my favorite.
But you can't get these small details with charcoal, or I can't. I'm sure many people can. I can't. It's really good for bigger things. I love it, just getting dirty with a thing, but it's not very practical for what I do.
Charcoal opened up a whole new world for me, because before I couldn't, before I went to art school, I couldn't get like the effect of like a 3D effect on my drawings or anything like that. And then it's so easy to shade, just smudge your finger on there, and all of a sudden it looks exactly what you need it to look like.
Just this feeling of
I feel like
under your fingernails.
I feel like that dial on my like art control pad has been like dialed down. Like I've taken multiple classes of like traditional drawing and like mostly out of requirements for when I was going through school, and there's a lot that I took from it to apply to my main focus, and then things that I appreciated. But I'd say if anything, I mean my focus in art is more on like the digital like video aspect of it. For some reason that kind of is my language versus the ability to like illustrate out like my thoughts and feelings onto pencil and paper. But I like what you were saying about how you can like you've just got that textile component to when you're drawing with pencil and paper versus like the digital route, because even when I need to put my ideas out there, I've tried to, you've got your phone, you've got, whatever digital component that you have. And I think, well, this would be easy, right? Because like I could just save it somewhere and I could have it everywhere with me. I wouldn't have to, find paper, find pencil. But every time I've tried to do it real quick on any sort of application, I get so frustrated. Because, I mean, granted, if I worked on it a little more, maybe I'd understand the different, brushes and like the ways that you can tweak it to be a little more traditional. But it always seems to come out more easily and highlight the idea that I'm trying to pull out of my head onto pencil and paper. It just, because like when we were doing our logo, I kept trying to like, this would just be really quick if I'm on the go and I just pull out my phone and I just do a little doodle, and I hated every single one of them. I trashed it and I was like, let me just sit down for half an hour and just doodle let me just grab a pencil and paper and let me just doodle it out, because you can do all the little, finer details that I just can't seem to translate onto a digital platform.
I am somewhere in between both of you. Like, I obviously started off traditional pencil paper. I dabbled in pen paper. I've done charcoal. I won't mess with paint. I can't do physical paint because that scares me. I recently, like during the pandemic, switched over to digital drawing because my girlfriend actually for my birthday bought me an iPad so I could buy and download Procreate, because I've been wanting to do that, and so she did. And I noticed that, on the iPad, it's such a smooth surface, and I really didn't like the feeling of drawing on there. And so it took me a little bit to do, I did some research and I found some screen protectors that have a more like grainy texture to it that's a lot more similar to paper. Like, they actually make some that are paper-like, but I got one that's more matted. And ever since I've put that on my iPad, whoa, my iPad, it's just been a lot easier to be able to like draw and feel like that same control as pencil and paper. You have a preference between the still drawings that you use versus the like animations that you do?
The animations are so fun, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But I really love, because I'm not really conscious of what I'm drawing. And then at the end, when you see it moving, it's like, what? For instance, in that first one of Reimer that we did together, I hadn't realized that the sticks makes a loop in the air and falls down back. And I only saw it when it was finished. But you are just, okay, this one is ready. Okay, this one's ready. This one. And you don't realize what happens in it.
Yeah, because you do yours like basically like little still drawings, and then you compile them together, right? Yeah.
And first the screen captures, and then I make digital drawings out of sketches to see if it works. And then I put them into pencils and I do it on paper. Jay has been helping me with the screen captures, and I can't animate. Jay is the animator here.
Well, you're one part of the animation aspect of it. If anything, I feel like that's far more, like, I'm not going to be able to animate unless you draw them. So we're,
But I can do the technical part of it. I can do 1,000 pictures. I can put them together. Here's the real animator thinking. Yeah.
As an animator, in this context, Elena is the animator because she's the one doing the drawings. Jay would be the video editor. Right?
Okay.
Sure. I mean, in this scenario, I'm always putting Elena on a pedestal because I'm amazed by her work. And I mean, ultimately, the James Reimer animation was because Elena was having some difficulty figuring out how to showcase it because it's not a still drawing. So I was like, oh, let me just put them together for you. And then, then you can show folks that all your amazing drawings on your flip book. And then it just, we just threw it out there like, here you go, guys. Here's something fun to watch. And it just kind of, we didn't expect it to have the impact that it did. I mean, folks were tagging, what's his bucket?
Steve Dangle.
Yeah, so, because Dangle's in love with Reimer. And then, the Sharks reached out to Elena. They wanted to put it on their socials. And then Chang wanted to, ask her about the project and things like that. So none of that was our plan. I mean, at least for me, I'm just like, here's Elena's amazing drawings. She decided she wanted to draw these really tiny drawings because she's insane, and then put them into a flip book. And then, and then from there, we kind of thought it was like, wow, that was a lot of fun. Let's try to do another one. So, I mean, I'm here to uplift Elena. So I do want to highlight because I was looking through your drawings, trying to think of ones that I wanted to talk more in depth with. And this is probably one half because I like this player, another half because I was just like, are you insane? Like the level of detail that you put into this drawing. I'm talking about Alexander Wennberg.
That was so fun to draw.
When you showed me that, I don't even think I could properly articulate how amazed I was through text alone, because and you're like, oh, I've just been working on this for, a little bit, and I'm like, okay, sure. But I mean, just like, I'm trying to get it to open.
That was relatively easy. That was relatively easy to draw, to be honest, because there's not much shadowing, and it's really flat. A lot of white. Wennberg.
It was easy for you.
Yeah.
It's just like that looks way harder to me. I don't know, when you do like the visor reflection and you go in and you do like the shading, I'm just that like gear in my brain is not there.
I'm gonna explain to you why that was an easy one, because it's lots of white. It's lots of white, and white just means undrawn. It's just a paper. And when you see the drawing I did of Reimer, or the drawing I did of Kubauer, that was hard. That was really hard, much harder. But the one with Wennberg is just it's almost only black on white, and it was really easy to do, to be honest. It's not.
It just seemed to really highlight the, like the contrast, I guess, was higher, and then it felt, it just seemed to pop out more to me. So I guess that's why I felt like, geez, that looks like it took way more effort on your part. But that's kind of cool that, just hearing you talk about the process. Many
times I just try to, as some people say, I'm hyper realistic, but I try not to be honest. I try to pop out where I think gives character to the people I'm drawing. For instance, that with Hertl is the smile, and with some of them are the eyes, and I try to pop out. It's not like when you see the what's his name? There's this guy, he's a magician, how he draws Dan Pitts. That's amazing what he does. It's really hyper realistic. You can see every pore, I would love to be able to do that, but I'm not able to do that, so I try to turn the things a little bit to show the character of the player, or an expression, like a smile or a frown, or the concentration. The eyes is what really
the same. Like, if you follow your work versus another person who does realistic drawings, there's certain components that you can pick out, almost like your signature, in a sense, what you're highlighting, focusing on, versus somebody else who does it. So
I I like to play with light and how shadows give expression to a face, and that's why I also choose these pictures, which are insanely good. Some of them, the last one I did of Panarin, it was so fun. Good. This Joker expression, and I really tried to accentuate it to make it a bit more. I think I went too far. It's a bit scary. But I like it.
You should ask Nessa next time for your critiques on stuff, because she's always like, "Oh, I can't get this eyebrow right," and I'm just like, I don't I don't know how to help you, because I think the eyebrow looks amazing. Like, because I mean, I appreciate that you reach out to me and I try my best, but I'm just like, I don't even know where to begin to help you with that.
I think mostly because you look at it for so long and you lose perspective completely. Not just a moment where I'm looking at an eye and it's like, this is not right. It's looking like this and it should be looking like that, and I really need someone from the outside to tell me it's okay or it's maybe a bit no, and my people at home don't care about it. They are fed up. No help anymore.
It also helps to get critique from people who don't do art, I guess. Like if a person who doesn't have the eye for it can see that there's something wrong, then you know that there's something there that you need to fix. So
because
I always ask my girlfriend for long. Yeah, I always ask my girlfriend for critiques whenever I'm doing like personal animations. Like, does this look okay to you? And she'll tell me, it's looking off. Like either like she can't specifically tell me what it is, but she can feel or see that there's something wrong there, and then I know there's something I need to fix.
That's a good girlfriend. My partner just brushes me off. It looks great. That's it.
Well, yeah, that's what I try to avoid. I try to avoid telling you it's done. Yeah, it's good, because I mean, I understand that, you know, there's a part that you feel like could be improved, and just like, you know, when I'm doing my own stuff and I send it out to one of you guys and I'm like, I need someone else to look at this because I've been watching it for too long, or I've been, you know, we're just been staring at it too long, that it almost kind of normalizes it as, that's how it's supposed to be, but you know something is off and you need to either step away from it or get another pair of eyes just to like tell me that this flows right. Like, you know, when me and Nessa were working on a little trailer sneak peek that we were doing, and I'm like, I feel like it's fine, but something is wrong and I can't pick it out anymore. So, you know.
I gave the little feedback I could give.
And I think it's cute now, and it's gotten so many views, and I'm just like so happy.
I'm so well. I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you. Okay, should we start our rapid fire questions? I don't know if I'm ready with mine.
Okay, I'll start with mine, and then we can like go off of each other. So rapid fire round, random questions that might have something to do with hockey, but we didn't really base it on that.
Okay.
So, if you're in a zombie apocalypse, what would be your weapon of choice?
Oh my gosh.
How is it called? This thing with arrows.
The shotgun? Oh,
no, with arrows.
The crossbow?
Arrow.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, but are you gonna be like Hawkeye? Or you're never gonna run out?
Wait, I don't know who Hawkeye is.
Oh no! It's a Marvel character, and he just has his, you know, he's a
unlimited.
He's
arrows.
A dude with a bow and arrow, and throughout the whole movie, it's like, you've never run out? Oh, except for one time where he did, and it was like the climactic moment where like,
no, I will never run out of arrows.
Okay.
That's funny. I don't know. I feel like I would choose something like I'd want a bat or something, because I know I would never run out of ammo for that. But plus I get a good workout, you know.
That'd be a lot of zombies. I don't know if I want that much of a workout.
Yeah, you're right. I'd be like, anyways. I don't know. I can't shoot a gun for my life. I've never tried, so.
No, me neither.
Then you'd need unlimited ammo.
That too.
There's always a flaw. Yeah, I think I'd want, like kind of similar to what Nessa said. Even though I don't know if I could get up that close against a zombie. Like when I play video games, I always kind of want to have like the projectile that I can like snipe out people. Yeah. But maybe when the realization that you're fighting for your life passes, then maybe you can go in there and knock a couple of heads around. Your turn, Nessa. What do you got?
Okay, I have a pre-question to my question. Are you more of a dog or cat person?
I love both.
Okay, this is okay. Would you choose
Sorry.
to have... No, it's okay. Would you choose to have, like, a cat companion, or would you rather be a cat?
I would love to be a cat.
I think
weird. I don't know why. It's just how they move and how they jump, and this attitude from I don't give what happens. I just want to be fed, and I don't know. I love.
I feel the same. I love cats.
And couldn't.
They don't have a care in the world.
I am not a cat person. I've lived with enough cats to realize I am not a cat person, but there's a joke me and one of my besties have is that I am a cat. That's probably why I don't like cats. My personality is like, get away from me, don't touch me. Like, I don't want to be left alone, and then I'll come around and be like, I'm hungry.
Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't really care because I can have cats because I'm allergic. Dogs too. So that's why I have shrimp.
You say shrimp?
Yeah.
You have shrimp as pets?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
They're so little mini shrimps.
That's funny.
They are cute, but not really cuddly.
Found something very interesting about Elena today. She goes to the grocery store, and then you think she's gonna,
We don't eat them. They are pets.
Like I said, you go to the grocery store, and everyone thinks you're gonna be cooking a meal that night, and no, you're putting it in your tank to take care of
your little salsita
really
de
minimal.
tomate.
Ay, que no, que son familia.
All right.
Anyways,
weirdest American trait, since we had some dialogue earlier in this week about, is that American thing? Is that a California thing?
What weirdest American?
Weirdest American trait, like something that you've noticed that you being European, it's not common for you.
The weirdest thing I find. I've never been there. No, that's foremost. But is this a resistance to leave the cars? It's like when you talk about Europe and people walking on bikes, they always saying, "But how can I buy my groceries if I don't have a huge thing?" is this that because people think such a huge country should have good trains and good connections and good public transportation, but this everything depends on the car, and kids go to school with a car. That's like, wow. It's strange. We live on the bike where I live, and it's not a small town. It's 600,000 people. It's big enough, but I never need to take the car. We only have the car for really long trips.
That's funny.
For me, it's one of the weirdest things. Sorry.
I have a grocery store literally like half a mile away, and I always drive because I don't want to carry the heavy groceries.
And we have bags for the bike you can carry it on the bike. And I don't know. It's more a German thing than a Spanish thing, but we always go with a backpack to the grocery store, and you can just carry the things home. But we never do such big shoppings. I go every day to shop and buy milk or bread or tomorrow. We don't make this one weekly huge shopping frenzy trip. It's more like every day thing.
My super rapid fire question turned into a giant discussion.
Sorry.
It's just a venting
No,
session.
it's fine. I was just like, this is the rapid fire round, and we're like, yes, let's dive more into that.
Let's compare. I can't answer with one word. I will answer with one word from now on.
Honestly, yeah, I actually wanted to bring up the fact that, in my hometown at the grocery store, most people don't go with backpacks. You mentioned going to the store with backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're still doing it, but there was a time when I was still there where they would make the kids, like children, leave their backpacks at the front of the store because of shoplifters. So
yeah, we have to do that too in some shops, not all of them. That is more a Spanish thing than a German thing. In Spain, you have to leave the bags and the backpacks, but you can pick them up when you're ready. Then you can fill them up and good to go.
Okay, how many languages do you speak?
3.
You said you were a translator. 3. So English, Spanish, Germany.
Yeah,
German.
that's it.
She speaks Germany.
All the German.
All of it.
She speaks of Germany.
Is there a language that you want to learn / master?
I started learning Dutch. I studied Dutch for 3 years. As a matter of fact, I can read pretty well and understand it a bit, but I can't speak it. I started Norwegian. I started Russian. And what was the Bulgarian? Don't ask me why, because it was similar to Russian. But I didn't come too far with none of them. I think I would like to speak French because the neighborhood thing, and maybe Russian. Russian is fun, but it's so difficult.
I'm just gonna drag Elena along the world with me everywhere. She's just gonna be my just gonna
Translator.
dial it in. Which language? And pull up.
No, but I can speak that. No, what? I can. Swedish.
Pull out your Duolingo.
Yeah.
I would like to
Elena's
learn
my
Swedish
personal Duolingo.
Hey, you are my hockey guide. My
Okay,
hockey
see, there's a
master,
trade-off.
my Yoda.
Then I can stop feeling shame for being, typical American. I'm sorry, I only know the one language.
Oh my god.
I got shame from the rest of the world and then shame from my Asian side. Just shame.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Is there a language you want to learn, Jay?
There's so many languages I would love to learn. Involuntarily, I took Spanish for 3 years just because it was a requirement in high school and they dropped me in Spanish and I was like, okay. Didn't realize that there, was an option. So learned that. No way in hell I'm talking Spanish to you both. Like, that's so far in the back of my head. And then, like, I started learning Japanese in college. I felt fairly confident when I took my first trip to Japan in 2005. Never going to feel that confident again if I go now, because that, it's like if you don't actively use it, it just starts going away. Like, I can tell that my reading comprehension and, like, my ability to form sentences is, like, terrible now. I guess the most effective language I think I would like to learn is Tagalog, because that's just something that, I feel that it would have helped me get a little closer, especially when I My first trip to the Philippines was when I was 13, I think. And I have a whole section of cousins out there that we just looked at each other and we smiled. Because we're just, we have no way to communicate with one another. So, but I guess outside of the functional one, I like to learn Swedish.
Of course. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Let's do that together.
None of this should surprise either one of you.
You know what's interesting? I grew up with a lot of Filipino friends, and most of them could understand Tagalog but couldn't speak it. And I wonder why that's so common.
That's there's a whole theory about it. You're bilingual.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you a oldest sibling or a youngest sibling?
I'm in the middle.
Because we have noticed around my friends, we have many friends who have children are bilingual, binational, trinational, and we have noticed that the oldest siblings, they can always do better with the language they don't live with. Do you understand what I mean? If you were the oldest, you would be the better Spanish-speaking one, even if you live in Germany. And then the youngest siblings, they lose it. And there is even something called language rejection, where for instance, the Spanish children in Germany, they don't want to speak Spanish because they want to speak German because it's what's spoken at school and it's the playing language and this. And that's why many children reject their mother language when they live in another country. There are books about it.
That's interesting. That's actually really true. Because I have siblings. I have 3 other siblings. I have an older sibling and then 2 younger brothers. And like my parents are immigrants, right? So me and my older sibling grew up speaking Spanish because, you know, they were still pretty new to this country, whatever. My parents. But once my brothers came into the picture, you know, my older sibling and I were speaking English at home. My parents started picking up English a lot better. And so we speak like a mixture of Spanglish. And then they didn't really speak as much Spanish to my brothers. So it took them a little bit longer to pick it up. And now they're older, so they're doing it on their own. But they also don't speak with the accent most of the times. So yeah, it's interesting.
So, Hangout, BFF, or Ghost, Jake Middleton, Mario Ferraro, Roman Josi.
Oh shit, that's hard. Hangout, Mario Ferraro, BFF, Middleton. I don't know why I want to go for a beer with that guy. That's really fun. And I'm gonna go to Roman Josi. Sorry, I just.
Is this before or after you see his picture?
I've seen the pictures. I know what you mean, but I'm more like, let's have fun. I don't know if he has so much fun as Mario or Middleton. I don't know. I stand by it.
Okay. Tomas Hertl, Mika Zibanejad, Alex Wennberg.
That's not fair. I can't post any of them.
Oh, don't worry, it's getting harder.
Shit. You're gonna hate me so much. Because
she's gonna ghost Mika.
Yeah. No, Wennberg. I'm gonna ghost Wennberg. No, Mika totally BFF, totally. And Hertl for hanging out. I'm sorry. Wennberg's gone.
James Reimer, Braden Holtby, Carly Jackson.
Carly Jackson BFF. Oh no, I can't ghost any of them. When Holtby is retiring, isn't he?
Is that a criteria?
Yeah, he has more time to hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, he has lots of time to hang out with Holtby, and I'm gonna ghost Reimer. I can't.
She's gonna sacrifice for the Sharks and ghost Reimer because he needs to work on.
Yeah, that's right.
He needs to focus on the season.
It hurts.
That's all Jay.
Hey, I had a lot of fun putting together that list. So I'm like, let's see who me and Elena have talked about.
You know exactly where it hurts.
All right. And then is there any shout outs you'd like to put out for our audience for any upcoming projects that they should look out for?
I'm kind of on a break right now. There is something coming soon, I think in September, but I'm not sure. This new hockey art scene coming, but I don't know. I don't know where the hunters are on Twitter and Instagram. But it's going to be lots of amazing artists there, and this is also something for me, but many people I follow and I really like. And if I can art scene, I don't know what. Wait.
We can find
Give me
it
a minute.
later.
You can talk, or I can find it later, and you can maybe post it with a. And that's coming. The first number is coming in September, and it's lots from pencil to graphic. I think there's all kinds of different arts. Everything around hockey inside. And I'm on vacation. I'm on holidays. I'm not doing anything.
You're like, there's nothing else coming on. Well, when
the
you're
next 2 weeks
back from vacation, that's when you have to get down to work. No, I'm just kidding.
Then I want.
As soon as you step foot into your house,
I'm gonna water the plants because they are gonna die with this heat. Oh. Yeah, I have to catch up. I have lots of work outside drawing. So I have to catch up with, and then I would like to start drawing again. I want to go back to the sharks maybe because I haven't drawn a shark for a while. No,
you got some new players to draw.
Yeah, I need input. I accept recommendations and suggestions, and
you can do Eklund. Have you done him yet?
There you go.
No, right?
No.
Oh, you can do Strassman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Another goalie mask. It's always so fun. I don't know. I have to see when I'm back, and I will be full of strange things in my head. With this trip, I have to process everything, get back to work, and then see how I go on. And I would like to do another animation with you.
Well, you know where to find me. All right. With that, we'd like to thank Elena so much for coming on to the podcast. I also want to mention that Elena is our subtitler for our full episodes. Immensely helpful because we can't do all this work by ourselves, and we're just so thankful that you have graciously agreed to help us with that.
I love to do it. It's my pleasure.
All right, so thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Over the Glass. I am your host, Jay.
I'm Nessa.
And we just got done. Yeah, and we just got done talking with Elena, and we'll see you on the next episode.
It was great. Lots of fun. Bye.